What's up, this is Chosen, and this video is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a full reveal of the champion that is going to be the reward for Faction Wars. We're going to go over her entire kit. I have intentionally not looked at it. I've not let anybody tell me anything about it. I've done my best to shield myself from any knowledge. I'm going to give you a first reaction and grade this champion, let you know exactly how good she's going to be and how she will slot into the game. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, Lydia Deathsiren is going to be the reward for 3-starring every stage in Faction Wars. Not just beating every boss, getting through every stage, no. 3-starring Faction Wars, completing every single possible star in Faction Wars. So you're going to have to do it similar to my Barbarian team right here. Stage 1, 2, 3, all the way down. You can see here I need to go back and grab a couple stars. You're going to have to go all the way down and get 3-star against the last stage boss fight. Once you do that, you will get this champion, and people who have already done that will get this champion added to their inbox in the 2.30 patch. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this pulled up here. This is going to be the artwork on Lydia. Looks very cool. Reminds me of Sarah Kerrigan, the Zerg-infested Sarah Kerrigan from the StarCraft universe. And then, okay, let's pull up the kit here. I've done my best not to read it or look at it. All I did was pull it up and get it cropped on the screen, but I haven't actually read the words. So I'm excited for this. Let's dive in and grade this kit. So we've got an A1 called Oppression that attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance. Okay, one thing I want to touch on really quickly is it's really tough to do like a first reaction live review on these champions in this situation because we don't see how the books affect the champion. So we don't know how these percent chances change with books, buff, debuff chances, damage for skills, and most importantly, cooldowns for skills. So I'll do my best to predict what I think the books are going to do, but just know that it's not going to be 100% perfect. So it's a little bit tough to grade in this format that Plarium gives us without what the books do. So anyway, the A1 is one of me, 75% chance of placing a fear. I brought that up because I bet you can book that to 100%. You can take that from 75 to 100 with books, I'm guessing. Has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of any poison sensitivity. Okay, so giving you a little bit of utility versus both trash mobs and boss fights. Okay, and then attack enemy champions with the skill whenever they place a freeze, stun, fear, or true fear debuff on an ally. The number of attacks increases according to how many debuffs are placed at that time. 1 attack for each freeze and stun. Wow, okay, so if you're facing a lot of CC, she could really start to pop off. The first attack will target the attacker, while all extra attacks will attack randomly, and you'll just start placing a bunch of sleeps, and you just start placing a bunch of fears, not sleeps. Sorry, I got a little bit confused by all the wording. So, yeah, that's a cool A1 with lots of interesting utility. I like that. Then we've got the, and she is based on attack. That's an important note. Okay. And then we've got the A2, Siren's Wail. Attacks all enemies with a 75% chance. I bet you can book that to 100%. So attack all enemies with a chance to place 60% decreased defense. That's big. AoE defense break. And a 25% weaken. Wow. So AoE decreased defense and weaken. So similar to like a Venus or a Dracomorph for 2 turns. Also places a 25% strengthen and a 30% increased speed buff on all allies. Wow. Wow. So, okay, we thought Draco's Baleful Eye was good. The AoE decreased defense and weaken. And then Venus with the AoE attack with the decreased defense and the weaken. Holy cow. This is one of the best abilities in the game. It's AoE, big version of decreased defense, big version of weaken. Then all ally 25% strengthen and 30% increased speed. That is insane on a 3-turn cooldown. That's one of the best abilities in the game. Saying it's the best ability in the game is really undoable because there's so many different areas and so many different situations that it really depends on what you're up against and the team you're in and all that. But in terms of general usefulness, Siren's Wail is arguably the best ability in the game. That's absolutely bonkers. And then I bet you can get that to a 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, that's crazy. The A3, Nullification. Attack one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 75% chance. I bet you can book that to 100 of placing a 25% poison sensitivity, okay? And that'll snowball with the A1, so that's cool. The second hit has a 75% chance of placing a block buffs and block cooldown skills. Now, this has a big cooldown. I bet you the default cooldown is 7, and you can book it to 5 if I had to guess. Or wait, that's on the next. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought that was going to be like a really wordy ability there on the A3, but no, there's actually an A4. So that cooldown's going to be 5. I bet you can book it to 4. So, yeah, it's cool. It's a multi-hitter single target that places poison sensitivity, which is rare in the game. And then you can also place block buffs and block cooldowns on a priority target. So, yeah, really good ability there. Sorry, then I got a little bit confused. Like I said, it's a first reaction here, so bear with me. We've got the A4, Death's Hold. Oh, it's not an A4, it's a passive. Okay, so deny enemy revive attempts. This work even if the champion is dead. So it's not even like we see with Anithwe or Foley, Rhodos in terms of enemies killed by this champion block revive. This is just a passive where your enemies can't be revived. Like, no matter what. It doesn't matter who kills them. It doesn't matter how they die, what happens. And then even if she's dead, the enemies just can't revive. Insane. That's already crazy. Okay. Then if this champion is alive when an enemy revive is denied, revive all dead allies. Holy cow. Holy cow. With 50% HP and 50% turn meter, grant an extra turn instead. So she'll block a revive, and if nobody's dead, she'll just get an extra turn from that passive effect. But the cooldown is going to be big. I bet you it's a nat cooldown of 7 that you can book to 6. So the cooldown is big, but wow, that's huge. This ability is crazy as a passive. And then if this champion is dead when the enemy revive is denied, revive the champion. so instead of the enemy reviving the champion they wanted to revive, it's gonna revive your dead Lydia. Wow. And then the cooldown there, like I said, is 7. You could probably book that to a 6. So yeah, guys, we knew this champion was gonna be really good because obviously 3-starring faction wars is crazy. I haven't even done it. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Raid. I've been playing it for almost 2 years, and I have not 3-starred Faction Wars yet. I've still got about 2 or 3 factions that I need. I've got Dwarfs. Barbs is done. I just need to clean it up. Same with Demon Spawn. I just need to clean it up. So I think I've only got like 3 or 4 factions that I'm on like the last stage of, stage 20 or 21. So I should be able to finish it soon here. But my point is, it is a grind for a player to finish Faction Wars. So many 6-star champions, so many books, such a time sink, silver sink, everything. One of the tougher things to complete in Raid. And with how tough it is to acquire Arbiter from the missions and how good Arbiter is, imagine how good this champion's got to be to justify the grind of finishing Faction Wars. We knew this champion was going to be really good, and this does not change that. Like, wow. Yeah, my first reaction is wow. So I'm not gonna add her to the tier list yet, but there's a good chance when I do, she will be number 1, the number 1 champion in the game. As a Void legendary, that's never gonna be hitting weak or anything, and the blocking of revives just as a passive inherent ability. And the A2, the Siren's Wail, is arguably the best ability in the game. The constant CC on the A1, the nullification to nullify a priority target. Yeah, just gonna be ridiculous. So gonna be right up there with your Siffies and your Krisk and all that. Gonna definitely be a top 5 champion for sure when she comes out and I add her to the tier list, and a possibility of number 1 overall in the game. So wow, if this actually goes live, she is gonna be amazing and definitely worth the grind of finishing Faction Wars. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. What do you think about her kit? What do you think about where she will grade? I really enjoy hearing your perspectives to get a wide variety of opinions as well. And do keep in mind that I did my best to give some context and predict the buff chances and the cooldown effects, but I could be wrong on some of those predictions about the buff chances going up to 100 and how the cooldowns are affected. Like maybe Siren's Wail, the A2, that's completely ridiculous. Maybe it is just a 4-turn cooldown. If it is just a 4-turn cooldown that you can't book to 3, that does change things a lot. But it would still be really, really good. It just wouldn't be as bonkers for dungeons and faction wars and stuff, but it's still going to be good no matter what, even if it is a 4-turn cooldown that you can't book down to 3. But certain things like that are really hard to predict. I hope in the future Plarium will give us a little bit of info of how the buff chances and how the books are going to affect skills. That would be really handy information to have when we're trying to do grading systems like this and first reactions to champions. So yeah, guys, that's going to do it for me in this video. I really appreciate you watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.